They say you shouldn't mess with things you don't understand. I learned that the hard way. My friends dared me to spend a night in the old abandoned hospital on the edge of town, and being the stubborn foreigner who didn't believe in their ghost stories, I laughed and said, "Sure, why not?" Big mistake. My name is Alex, and this is the story of how a single night in the Philippines shattered my reality. The hospital was a skeleton against the bruised twilight sky. Decades of neglect had left it looking like something straight out of a horror film. My friends, Marco and Leah, were visibly nervous, clutching their flashlights like lifelines. Me, I was filming everything on my phone, narrating my brave adventure for my channel back home. Siga, just an old building. No ghosts, no monsters, just rats and dust, I said, my voice echoing down the long, dark corridor. The air was thick and heavy, smelling of decay and something else, something sickly sweet, like old milk left out in the sun. We started on the ground floor, our flashlight beams cutting through the oppressive darkness. Peeling paint hung from the walls like sunburnt skin. Overturned gurneys and rusted medical equipment littered the hallways. Leah kept jumping at every sound, the scuttling of unseen creatures, the groan of the building settling. Marco was quieter, but his eyes darted around nervously. He told me this place was infamous, not just for regular spirits, but for something much worse, something that preys on the unsuspecting. I, of course, scoffed. The real fun began when we decided to explore the maternity ward on the 3rd floor. The moment we stepped out of the stairwell, the temperature dropped. I could see my own breath fogging in the air. This was the part of the hospital people whispered about the most. They said it was haunted by a Tiyanak. Marco explained it was a creature that mimicked the cries of a baby to lure people into the darkness. "It sounds like a baby, Alex," he whispered, his voice trembling. "But it's not a baby." I was about to make a sarcastic comment when we heard it. A faint, distant cry. A baby's cry. It was coming from down the hole, from one of the darkened rooms. "It's just the wind," I said, but my own voice lacked conviction. My heart started hammering against my ribs. Leah grabbed my arm, her knuckles white. "Alex, we have to go. Now." But the cry grew louder, more desperate. It sounded so real, so helpless. My skepticism was warring with a primal instinct to help. Against my friend's frantic protests, I started walking toward the sound. I had to prove them wrong. I had to prove to myself that it was just a trick of the wind or some animal. The crying led me to a nursery. The door was slightly ajar. Moonlight streamed through a grimy window, illuminating rows of empty, decaying cribs. And in the center of the room, on the cold, tiled floor, was a small bundle of blankets. The crying was coming from inside it. My heart ached. Had someone abandoned a baby here? I ignored Marco and Leah, calling my name from the hallway. I took a step into the room, my phone still recording. "Hello? Is anyone there?" I called out softly. The crying stopped. An unnerving silence filled the room. I slowly approached the bundle, my hand outstretched. My fingers brushed against the blanket, and I pulled it back. What I saw will haunt me for the rest of my life. It wasn't a baby. It was a small, grotesque creature with wrinkled, gray skin and oversized, blood-red eyes that stared directly into mine. Its mouth, filled with rows of sharp, needle-like teeth, curled into a hideous grin. It let out a piercing shriek, a sound that was no longer a baby's cry but a cacophony of pure malice. I screamed and scrambled backward, tripping over my own feet. The creature leaped from the blankets, its tiny claws extended, and scurried into the shadows with inhuman speed. I didn't wait for a second invitation. I turned and ran, bolting past my terrified friends. We didn't stop running until we were out of the hospital and back in the humid night air, gasping for breath. We never spoke of what happened in detail again. I deleted the footage from my phone, but I can't delete the image from my mind. The red eyes, the sharp teeth, the chilling grin. Some things are better left undisturbed. Some stories are true, and I am never, ever doubting Filipino folklore again. Thanks for listening. Stay safe out there. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and like this video.